Hello everyone, thank you for joining this Altium Designer Output Job File Generation webinar. My name is Priyankar Ghosh. I am working as a field application engineer in VVDN Technologies. So please do visit our website for more information and for upcoming events. And we are happy to announce that we are on social media platform as VVDN Tools. Please follow us on Facebook and LinkedIn, Instagram for upcoming webinar posts and more information. So today I'll be talking about output job file generation. So first we'll came to know what are output job files. Then we'll create a new output job file. Then we'll use output job file to generate PCB fabrication outputs. Then we'll customize folder and file name using parameters, and we'll show live demonstration, and last will be Q&A session. So what are output job files? So through Altium Designer we can create output job files. So this output job file is output job file generation is the part of Altium. So 10 years ago we have introduced this output job features. Okay, so under output job generation we can do netlist, simulation, documentation, assembly, fabrication outputs, reports, validation outputs, export outputs, each and everything we can generate. Okay, so within a single output files we can generate those things. Even we can configuration our output job file as for fabrication purpose. Here you can see those things we can list it under fabrication outputs. Then for assembly outputs we can create those uh, outputs, and a number of output file we can generate. Okay, so multiple output files we can generate for our fabrication assembly purpose, like Garva file generation, drill, those things. And we can customize our uh, file name also. Even for output file generation we can uh, generate ASCII files, PDF files, zip files, step files, everything. Okay, so after that, once we created the output files, then we can release our project. Okay, so it is a automated process. Through this project release option also we can create files, output files, and a zip file also we can create. Okay, so complete project outputs we can create through this output jobs. So adding and defining an output jobs. So here you can see this is the UI of output job files. Within output job files we can create those things, and the option comment is there. So first we have to select the project, then we can go to file, new, output job file. We can then we can create the output jobs. Okay, so within our output jobs, here you can see we can add netlist outputs, simulator outputs, documentation outputs, assembly outputs, fabrication outputs, report outputs, export outputs, everything we can create. Then we can map with our output containers. Okay, so if it is reports, bill of materials, so that time we can map as a PDF. Then suppose 3D video we want to add, so video, like that we have to map. Okay, and third things, variants. So suppose in your project any variants is there, so that time also we can choose. Adding outputs to an output job. So here you can see there we can add a new output as per your requirement. Okay, suppose in our project we want to add bill of materials. Okay, so for that, under report outputs we can add a click and go to bill of materials. Then we can select our entire project or particular active BOM document or schematic shift or PCB project. We can select and we can generate the out bill of materials. Okay, so there is one option. Another one, within output jobs, edit, from the edit menu from the toolbar, then we can add our fabrication outputs, assembly outputs, report outputs, those things we can add. Okay, then configuring outputs. So we can configure our outputs depending on your specific output type. Okay, suppose we want to generate fabrication output, so like that we can generate the report, and if you double click this one, so this window will open, and from there we can set the setup. Okay, so those kind of configuration we can do through our output jobs. Exporting outputs in an output jobs. So if any data like step file, idf file, parasol file, those things, ASCII files, if you want to export, so those things also we can export through our output jobs editor. Okay, so these options are available. Then linking outputs to output containers and print jobs. So within output job files, so first we have to create outputs like PCB print, 3D print, or Java files. So those things we can add and we can map through our output containers. Okay, so under output containers you can see PDF option is there, folder structure, video, those things. Like suppose if you want to create as a PDF, so that time you can map as a PDF. Then if it's like a Java file, so that time we can make as a folder structure, and 3D video, so that time we can select video. So like that we have to map and we can configure. Variant choice, as I told you, if in our design any variant is there, so that time also we can create our output jobs. If we select no variants, so for no variants also we can create a output job for the whole project. And if we have variants, so that also we can select from this drop down box, and we can do the output jobs for the variants also. So output job generation, there is two types. So one is from the output containers. As I told, first we have to map the outputs like PDF or folder structure or videos, like that we have to map. Once you mapped, after that you can click on the generate content and we can generate our output jobs directly. So by selecting this generate content, we can generate. So another way is through the project releaser. Okay, so we have project releaser option in Altium Designer, so we can select the project and go to the command project releaser. So here you can see this is the UI of project releaser. So from there we can set up our project releaser option also. After once it's done, then you can prepare our data. Okay, and through that we can release our project. Okay, so here is another option like folder name, file name, we can customize for this output job. So those are automatically we can generate our outputs, and for that we can uh, rename the folder also, and we can customize, okay, as per the purpose. So here you can see the option, so release manage. So this one is automatically it will come. If we manually we want to manage, so we can click and we can manage. And if you want to use any custom folder, so that also we can customize from this option, and we can rename the file name also. Okay, So those even we can change the location also. Then another new features is there. We can generate our output and we can release our project. After that we can view those data from our Altium 365 also. Okay, so if you add your project to our Altium 365, so we can view our project through online. Okay, and we can read our data. Here you can see through overview each and everything. We can see number of layers, those things we can view. And we can view fabrication outputs, assembly outputs, bill of materials, each and everything. So this support also there for Altium 365 also. And we can share our data globally, and through even we can share the data with our manufacturer also from this Altium 365. So let's move to live demonstration part. Hope you were able to see my screen. Altium designer. Okay. So to create our output jobs, what we have to do, we have to select this project first, then add to new project, then output job file. Okay. So once you create it, so this window will open. So this is the UI of output job. And suppose if you have variants in your project, so that time from there you can select the variants for the single project, or you can for each variants also you can select this option. So suppose for this project, okay, we want to generate bill of materials. Okay, so for that, here you can see here group is there for netlist, for simulator, for documentation, assembly outputs, fabrication outputs, then report outputs, validation, export outputs option is there. So from there, suppose you want to generate bill of materials, so under reports, here you can see add new report output. Okay, so you can click on this, and from there is many option is there. So from there you can select bill of materials, and you can select your entire project, or suppose if you have created active bomb, so that also create. Otherwise for schematic document or PCB document, you can select like that. Okay, then once you select, so from there output containers, here you can see if you want to export as a PDF file. Okay, so from the output containers you can select PDF, then you can map it. Okay, like that. And then we have to generate the content, so it will generate. Suppose if you want to change the file name, okay, so that time from the change option you can select, and here this one is automatically you can see the release managed option is there. If you click on that, by default it will take a job on like the job file name. Okay, so from there if you want to changes, so manually you can change, and from this option you can choose your path. Okay, so if I select this part, then select the folder, you can select. Once this done, so after that you can customize your file name also. Okay, so from there you can customize the name. So then click on done. So here you can see it's done, and here you can customize folder name also. Okay, so if you want, click on done, then okay. Okay, so it will take that path. Again, you can see from this option, so it is taking this path. Once this done, then you can generate the content. Okay, so through this option also we can create our outputs. And so like that we can generate our outputs. And suppose we want to for fabrication. Okay, suppose we want to generate our Gerber files. Okay, so from there also we can select the Gerber files, and for the Gerber files we can generate as a PDF, right? So for that we have to choose folder structure, then we can map it. Okay, so again we can change the path also, and here you can see then output name like that we can keep, and we can change. Okay, then click OK. So after that, for assembly outputs also, assembly drawing we can add, then generate pick and place files if you want to add, that also we can add, and we can map it. Okay, so for assembly drawings again we have to map PDF. Then for the documentation, here you can see we can add PCB 3D print also. Then we can add 3D video. So for video we have to map this video. Then so normal PCB prints if you want to add, so like that we can map. Then 3D PDF. Okay, then under fabrication if you want to add NC files I can add, then ODB++ file. Okay, drill drawings. So for export outputs, there we have option export step file we can create. Okay, so apart from that, if you want to create a ASCII file, okay, so that also you can create. Here we can see, suppose for this cover files, if we want to change the configuration. Okay, so that time if you double click this one, so this configuration cover file set of configuration will be open. Okay, so from there we can change the format. Okay, suppose you want to go for inches or millimeters, so like that we can select and select the formats. Then layers, what kind of layers is there, so manually from there we can add. Otherwise you can go for all on. Then mechanical layer if you have, so from there you can add. then drill drawings, you can add aperture setting, advance, those things we can modify it as per your requirement, and click on OK. So like that we can add. Then for each and everything, if we double click this one, so configuration settings will be open. Okay, so again for bill of materials, like that, within a single output job files we can do the changes. Okay, columns, everything we can add. Okay, so you can enable, disable from there. And suppose for print, okay, you want to, if you right click, so from there we can do the page setup. Okay, so page setup we can do portrait or landscape, like that. Okay, if it is color set, color or gray, like that we can set. Then documentation option, then from there we can select the multi-layer composite print. Okay, intersheet, like that we can select. So those changes we can do from the uh, output job files. Okay, so from there, here you can see for step file. Okay, if you want to export the step file, so from there we can do the changes. Okay, so once those things done and mapped, so after that we can generate the content, so it will generate. Okay, so after that you can save this file. Once this is saved, then you can save your project. After that we can release our project. Okay, so through this project release also we can do. If you click on the project release, so here you can see under configuration local release, it will show, and from there option also we can do the changes, modification we can do. Then you can click on prepare. Okay, so after that it will ask for save, then it will save. Once it's done, so after that it will come for generate the data, then review the data, everything we can do. After that we can release. Okay, so from there we can save, and once this is done, so after that we can move to, so we have Altium 365 also. So for that we have to save this project available for Altium 365. Okay, first I have to enable this one. Under data management and server, so first we have to connect to the server. Once this is done, so we can make as a available for the server. Okay, so once this is done, then we can go to Altium 365. Okay, so here you can see this one is Altium 365. So if you add your project, so those project will be available here. Okay, so then once it's available, then from the list you can open. And if you open, so from this Altium 365 viewer also we can view our project. Under design tab you can see variants option if is there, so that also you can select. So this is the PCB view, 2D view. If 3D view also we can see. Then bill of material if you generate, so those data will come under here. Then supplier information also you can see from there. Okay, then manufacturer. So under manufacturer, if you release the project, so this option will be enabled, and from there we can view. So there is option is send to manufacturer. If you click on this, so after that you have to add the files. Okay, you can add, then manufacturer email, there you can put the manufacturer email and you can send it directly from the Altium 365. Okay, and under Altium 365 also you can view. So here you can see this one is fabrication view, and assembly view. Each and every view is available, so these things we can do. So thanks for your time and attention, and thank you for your participation. So if you have any questions, so you can unmute and ask.